Honourable members, when we rose the question before the House was that the Appropriation 2025-2026 bill be read a second time. Member for Soufrière-Fonsèjacq.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the Almighty and the people of Soufrière-Fonsèjacq for the opportunity to join my colleague parliamentarians and ministers once again in this important exercise of debating the appropriation bill. Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, with your permission, I wish to convey my condolences to my fellow Catholic Christians on the passing of our spiritual leader, Pope Francis. I also wish to express condolences to the families of Mrs. Muriel Gill, originally from Fonsèjacq-Soufrière, who've made a tremendous contribution in the area of education in our country as a lecturer at the St. Lucia Teachers College. Condolences as well to the family of Mrs. Catherine Alexis of Massa, who passed on Tuesday this week. Mr. Speaker, I had a very deep conversation with Mrs. Alexis on Easter Sunday. I also want to express condolences to the other members and family members of constituents of Soufrière-Fonsèjacq who have passed over the last month. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's statement on the appropriation bill was wide-ranging and far forward-looking, representing the policy thrust and direction that underpins the estimate of expenditure and revenue of the government. Mr. Speaker, during the debate on the revenue and expenditure, I spent approximately 50% of my time focusing on my constituency of Soufrière-Fonsèjacq and 50% on the budget allocation for my ministry and its allied agencies, namely the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, Export St. Lucia, the 3-Zone, and the Regulated Substance Authority. Mr. Speaker, in this debate on the appropriation bill, I must perforce focus 100% of my time on my ministry and allied agencies. The reason being the growth, confidence, and success that is expected to continue manifesting depends to a great extent on the private sector growth and development, which forms part of the mandate and primary focus of the work of my ministry, and that is the Ministry of Commerce. Before proceeding, let me, on behalf of the constituents of Soufrière-Fonsèjacq, and I would say under the area of housing, the people of Moka, Palmis, Market Road, and Barons Drive, and the area of roads, the people of Fonsèjacq, and the roads to come, the people of Chateau Bel New Development, Lenny's Hill, Ravinclair, Crestland, Font-Bernier, Etangs, Deville, and in the area for water, the people of Bouton, Colombet, Belfond, and Boisden. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of these constituents, on behalf of the pensioners of this country, the owners of vehicles, the nursing students, the police officers, the business community, the beneficiaries of our MSME loan grant program, the students, the public workers on contract, the bakers, members of the cooperatives, teachers, and other citizens of this country who will be receiving reprieve from this budget. I want to thank the Honorable Prime Minister for his compassion, empathy, generosity, and statesmanship. Mr. Speaker, in thanking the Prime Minister, we are also truly grateful, and we pray God's guidance, protection, and blessings as he continues to lead our country with humility and with progress always. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Prime Minister, in his address on Tuesday, acknowledged that challenges may lie ahead, but he also informed this Honorable House that St. Lucia is ready for any challenge. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform this Honorable House that we at the Ministry of Commerce have been taking steps to prepare for unforeseen challenges, and the various programs and policies that I will speak on today are themselves evidence of a government that is forward-thinking and continually planning and strategizing for the future, and at the same time responsive to the various needs of our people. Mr. Speaker, in our attempts and determination to better discharge our role as the principal agency for private sector development in the economy of St. Lucia, we adopted a new strategic plan to create a new ethos and organizational culture, together with a refocused mission, vision, and set of appropriate values to guide the ministry forward over the period 2025 to 2028. This plan, Mr. Speaker, through these strategic pillars and goals, will not only enhance the operational efficiencies and performance of the ministry in terms of its ability to deliver an excellent standard of service to its clients, but will also strengthen the business environment through improved interagency coordination and facilitation in ways that benefit and support our entrepreneurs. Mr. Speaker, this kind of deliberate retooling of our business support services and systems through this plan is critical at this time when the world is appearing to be in turmoil. Mr. Speaker, I will move next to speak on the area of the U.S. tariffs. Mr. Speaker, the business environment which confronts our private sector and citizens, especially those involved in international trade, has been characterized by radical changes and much uncertainties. In particular, I refer to the sweeping changes by the government of the United States in the policy of America First, with the introduction of reciprocal tariffs, which is going to impact us in St. Lucia, especially on our exports of our yams, dashing, breadfruit, sea moss, bottled water, spices, cordials, rums, and alcoholic beverages. Also of great concern to us, Mr. Speaker, is the proposed changes in docking fees for China-built ships calling at U.S. ports. If implemented, Mr. Speaker, this will undoubtedly lead to a significant increase in freight costs per container, and hence the landed cost of imported goods, creating further inflationary pressures in our economy. As a small island developing state and price taker in the global economy, our survival requires that we must at best find creative ways to adapt and respond to the shifting dynamics of international trade, preferably, where possible, acting in concert with others. To assist us to do so, my government has established a special task force under my leadership to help us strategize and chart a course to navigate these choppy waters in our trading relationships. I am pleased to inform you, Mr. Speaker, that this work is ongoing, and a key preliminary recommendation is that we should seek to continue to build and strengthen our domestic production capacity so as to enhance our food security and to trade more with our neighbors in the region. That is, engaging in a strategy of nearshoring to support our businesses and regional economy. Notably, Mr. Speaker, this is consistent with our own ministry's policy and is executed on an ongoing basis under a work program and policy framework made up of a number of thematic areas. And these areas, Mr. Speaker, would be entrepreneurial development, resilient building, consumer welfare, and substance regulations. Mr. Speaker, I will now proceed to speak especially on the area of entrepreneurial development, where we have no less than 8 projects. The flagship project on the entrepreneurial development, Mr. Speaker, is our MSME loan program, which was launched in 2023, funded from a loan from the Caribbean Development Bank of EC $10 million, Mr. Speaker. The program's reception, Mr. Speaker, has been nothing short of extraordinary. Applications surged from 513 in the first call to an overall 987 by the second call. A clear signal of the demand, relevance, and impact of this initiative. Of these, as of March 31st, 2025, 747 applications have been approved, representing a success rate of 75%, with a commendable 82% approval in our second calling. Mr. Speaker, and I can tell you, the changes, this particular program is life-changing. It empowers businesses, and it causes our dreams, the dreams of our MSMEs, to fly. It is about economic inclusion, with approximately 358 male and 379 female entrepreneurs having received support, clearly demonstrating our commitment to gender equity. The impartial assessment process, Mr. Speaker, ensured that no one was left behind. The economic diversity of this program is equally noteworthy. Key production sectors, namely manufacturing, agriculture, professional services, and creative industries, which would help to support innovation, food security, and cultural expression, accounted for 55% of all approvals. More importantly, Mr. Speaker, every constituency in St. Lucia felt the ripple effect of this policy. Starting with the lead of Rosile, followed by Soufre, I can say that every part of St. Lucia felt and benefited from this program. As at March 31st, we approved $7.5 million, and we have some $214,000 committed, making total disbursements and commitments at $7.7 million, Mr. Speaker. In addition, government added to this by waiving the custom duties on importation of equipment, and this came to another $312,000. Mr. Speaker, in assessing this program, we noticed that there were certain gaps after we had conversation with persons around the country. And we felt that in this final stage, we are going to address this. For example, Mr. Speaker, medium-sized businesses, particularly cooperatives and bakers, expressed the need for higher levels of funding. In response, my government has approved an additional EC $3.2 million to directly finance cooperatives, medium-sized and startup bakeries, and to assist qualifying MSMEs under the first two phases. This phase, Mr. Speaker, will see us increasing the funding level to $50,000 for bakers and cooperatives. For these higher values, the ratio between loans and grants would be 50-50, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, during my ministerial tenure to date, the cooperative sector has received much needed attention. We have continued to engage our cooperatives, and we have, as a result of this, sat with them, Mr. Speaker, and I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, that this year, our fishers and farmer cooperatives will benefit from disbursements under our MSME loan program. 14 farmer and fisher cooperatives will be afforded the opportunity to access an allocation of approximately $540,000 to fund their improvement projects. Mr. Speaker, 20% of these funds has been reserved to facilitate 4 value chain cooperative societies in satisfying prerequisites under the UBEC program. And Mr. Speaker, the 4 cooperatives are Castries Fisher Cooperative, Swazel, Soufre, and Bellevue Corp. These cooperatives will use the funds to engage in collaborative projects to increase food production, such as tilapia, fresh fruits, and vegetable dehydration. Mr. Speaker, the remaining 80% will permit another 10 cooperatives to access funds which will allow them to meet critical factors for individual projects. And some of them, Mr. Speaker, the Coconut Growers Multipurpose Cooperative, and the project would increase coconut production and include value added. For Bellevue farmers, they are reactivating organic food production. For Millflare farmers, they are operationalizing the Lakai honey processing facility. These are some examples of what is going to happen within the cooperative sector. Mr. Speaker, our support for the baking industry under the MSME loan program. Mr. Speaker, our bakers are critical in ensuring food security. But our bakers are also experiencing tremendous long-standing challenges, from equipment, outdated equipments, Mr. Speaker, to difficulty in obtaining workers, limited innovation and efficiency. Under the MSME loan program, Mr. Speaker, we are going to provide intervention to strengthen the vital sector through 3 key areas: capital support for equipment upgrade, targeted training to improve the operational capacity of bakers, and a national mentorship initiative to partner with the Bakers Association. 20 bakeries, will receive up to EC 540,000 in equipment, while training of just over 100 bakers and staff in the areas of financial management, inventory control, and safety standards. Mr. Speaker, with the balance of the funds, approximately $400,000, we will be reassessing the MSMEs in the first and second call and see how best some of those that were rejected, who qualified but had work to do. We are going back to those from the first call and second call to see how we can assist them, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under the MSME loan program, we have been dealing with adults, mature individuals. But we also have a program called an SBDCA, which is a program which targets our grade 4s and 5s in the secondary schools, Mr. Speaker. During the summer, we provide them with a stipend, and we do a hand-holding entrepreneurial experience with them. We have had that program for the last 4 years. We've increased students' participation from 40 to 96, and we've increased the number of businesses participating from 29 to 56, Mr. Speaker. This initiative has expanded study areas from 11 to 15. It includes woodwork, handicraft, culinary arts, cosmetology, agro-processing, barbering, electrical engineering, mechanics, science, and financial assistance. Mr. Speaker, the government assigned EC $150,000 to that program. Mr. Speaker, through the SBDCA program, we are nurturing future entrepreneurs, innovators, and job creators. We are empowering our youth and strengthening our nation's economic resilience. Mr. Speaker, we've continued to make a shift in entrepreneurial development, and as a ministry, we have opened an office in the south of the country, and we did this in February, Mr. Speaker, and we believe it is critical that we diversify from focusing in the north alone, and we have opened our office to our businesses ranging from Dennery, Viewfort, Labrie, Soufrière. Mr. Speaker, our role in the digital enhancement program. Mr. Speaker, technology is the engine that drives innovation, competitiveness, and sustainable economic growth. Last year, I reported on my work with the OAS, my ministry's work with the OAS to develop 3 local e-commerce platforms to enable MSMEs to establish a stronger digital presence. Mr. Speaker, we distributed 78 point-of-sale machines with 31 businesses across various sectors now actively using them to accept cash payments. Mr. Speaker, for this year, our priority will include enhancing e-commerce platforms to get more businesses on those platforms, expanding digital payments, improving logistics and delivery systems, strengthening local digital platforms to ensure sustainability and long-term impact. These initiatives are not just about technology. They are about empowering, about unlocking the digital potential of our MSMEs. We are opening doors to new markets, greater competitiveness, and increased economic resilience for St. Lucia. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, the Ministry of Commerce, through our collaboration with the Taiwanese Technical Mission, has taken another important step. An officer from our SBDC Center is currently in Taiwan, participating in a workshop on the SME digital transformation strategy. This initiative is fully aligned with our ongoing mission to enhance the digital capability of our MSMEs. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Prime Minister spoke passionately about St. Lucia's digital infrastructure. What is happening within government with DigiGov and the community-wide broadband project? I am of the strong view, Mr. Speaker, that our private sector, especially our MSMEs, need dedicated hand-holding and support in order for them to embrace the new technology. My visit to Taiwan some 2 years ago confirmed my view that we at the ministry needs a digital transformation unit, which should be the engine of this transformation. Mr. Speaker, the next project I want to speak on is our Love St. Lucia campaign. Mr. Speaker, my government remains steadfast in its commitment to strengthen St. Lucia's economy by empowering local businesses and encouraging all St. Lucians to support homegrown products and services. Mr. Speaker, as we navigate the current international trade landscape that I've spoken about earlier, we must recognize that these developments will undoubtedly affect our import costs and trade flows. For a small import-dependent nation like St. Lucia, this represents both a challenge and an opportunity. In this context, the Love St. Lucia campaign takes an even greater significance. This campaign is more than just a slogan. It is a strategic movement to support local production, generate demand for St. Lucian goods, and build greater economic resilience through import substitution. Mr. Speaker, we believe that charity begins at home. This is why the Ministry of Commerce organized tours of local manufacturing facilities for key public sector procurement officers. The goal is to ensure that the government itself leads by example and increases the volume of locally produced goods in public sector procurement. This initiative strengthens local industries, supports job creation, and keeps more of our economic values circulating within St. Lucia. During the 2025-26 period, the ministry will expand efforts to promote local consumption and increase the visibility of St. Lucian products, especially in this era with an ongoing global trade war. Key initiatives include educational outreach with schools, presentations, and field trips to local manufacturers, enhanced product visibility by placing more of St. Lucia signage in businesses, and strategic marketing support. Additionally, the ministry will strengthen business-to-business networking, connecting new entrepreneurs with business leaders. Mr. Speaker, our vision is clear, and that is to build a more sustainable economy that champions local innovation, rewards entrepreneurship, and secure livelihoods across every community. Mr. Speaker, I will now speak on the solarization of our fisher cooperatives. Mr. Speaker, the Solarization project, which is a 3-year project, was established using a secure grant of $1.1 million from our friends of the Republic of China, Taiwan. My government, in its contribution towards restoration and reconstruction of fisher cooperatives, pledged 25% towards existing projects for 9 Fisher cooperative societies. Mr. Speaker, during the last 2 years, 6 Fisher cooperatives have benefited, and they are Dennery, Ancillary, Soufrière, Grosillet, Castries, and Labrie. This year, 2025-26, Mr. Speaker, a contribution of $575,000 is allocated and will be used for infrastructural works at the Swazel Fisher Cooperative Society, the Goodwill Fisher Cooperative Society in Beaufort, and the East Coast Fisher Cooperative Society in Micoud. Mr. Speaker, we encountered some delays during 2024-2025 in some of the work that is being done, but I want to give assurance that by March 2026, all our cooperative societies will be switched to the loose-leg grid, Mr. Speaker. To date, 3 cooperatives have been connected to the grid: Ancillary, Dennery, and Soufrière. Mr. Speaker, the management of these cooperatives have agreed to establish ex gratia and in sometimes what you call pension payments to persons, to fishers who no longer can go fishing from the savings of this project. And I can tell you the average monthly bills for these 3 cooperatives range between $9,000 to $10,000. After conversion to solar, the average saving is about $5,000 a month, Mr. Speaker. Savings of $5,000 a month for each of these cooperatives. And I can tell you the plan is to use these savings to assist the elderly fishers with some form of a pension. Mr. Speaker, as it relates to cooperative, the parliamentary representative for Babono have requested the help of the ministry to establish a financial cooperative in Babono. And I can tell the honorable member that every effort will be made towards ensuring that this request becomes a reality. Mr. Speaker, these projects are critical success factors that will positively impact our food security. And it is also evidence of a government putting the fishers of this country first. Mr. Speaker, I have spoken at great length on the various programs and projects on the entrepreneurial development. However, there is one vital part of the business ecosystem that is still missing, and that is a network of business incubators, Mr. Speaker. This will serve a similar purpose as the innovation hub, which the Prime Minister spoke about on Tuesday for optronics. It is a missing pillar in our entrepreneurial support and development system, which is essential to the unlocking of the full potential of the St. Lucia's micro, small, and medium enterprise. It is an initiative that we must implement for our MSMEs to progress and scale up. Mr. Speaker, I will now move on to our second pillar, which is our resilient building. And you may realize, Mr. Speaker, that all the programs that I have discussed earlier contribute to building resilience in our economy. However, Mr. Speaker, I want to take a moment to speak on the work of export promotion and the work of Export St. Lucia. In times of uncertainty, in the face of crisis, and amidst the shifting tide of global change, resilience is not merely a virtue. It is a necessity, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased to present to this Honorable House the remarkable achievements of Export St. Lucia. And I want to take this moment to publicly thank the Executive Director, Ms. Sunita Daniel, and her team for the stellar work that they are doing, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Export St. Lucia has facilitated export growth in the agricultural sector. And you've heard it from the member, the Minister of Agriculture, the member for Dennery South, as he reported earlier. Mr. Speaker, our CMOS industry has experienced remarkable growth from EC $50,000 in 2018. EC $50,000 in 2018, that was the export, to now EC $8.3 million, Mr. Speaker, and projected to reach EC $10 million this financial year. Mr. Speaker, CMOS has moved from 50 workers to 500 full-time positions, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, our investment in international compliance and certification has been particularly prudent. Cabinet approved the creation of a certification authority placed within Export St. Lucia to ensure that our farmers and CMOS exporters meet the stringent requirements of international standards for exporting to international markets. We have implemented programs based on global regulatory guidelines, augmented and retrofitted processing facilities towards food safety compliance to allow for continued access and growth to the North American markets. Our penetration of North American market for our dasheen and our banana exports represents a testament to the resilience and adaptability of our farmers as well as our export strategy. Throughout 2024, Mr. Speaker, our dasheen exports to North America have shown extraordinary growth. The development and registration of the local St. Lucian breadfruit trademark has been transformative. Mr. Speaker, establishing our breadfruit as a premium agricultural product in international markets is important. We have successfully positioned St. Lucia's breadfruit as a distinctive, high-quality commodity, leading to increased demands in both regional and international markets. These successes have demonstrated how strategic investment in intellectual property protection and brand development can create substantial value for our agricultural sector. Since the launch of the trademark, the expected increase in exports has been realized. We have increased our market share in North America and Western Europe, and new buyers have come on board in other regions of North America. Mr. Speaker, our penetration of the Canadian market of our bananas is not merely market access. It represents the resilience of our banana farmers and the effectiveness of export diversification strategy. Mr. Speaker, Export St. Lucia has facilitated the return to international exports for the St. Lucia Marketing Board after 3 decades, representing a significant milestone in our parastatal reform agenda, Mr. Speaker. Export St. Lucia has also assisted significantly in enhancing the infrastructure required for successful agricultural exports through the regionally funded Packhouse project, a strategic infrastructure investment that has already demonstrated measurable returns. The establishment of 3 community packhouses has created new employment opportunities in rural areas, reduced post-harvest losses, and improve our export logistic efficiency. Mr. Speaker, this comes as well with a refrigerated truck that has been provided to the St. Lucia Marketing Board to improve the cold chain, ensuring our fresh produce maintains optimal quality from harvest to export markets. Mr. Speaker, our Taste of St. Lucia brand is another development initiative. We have in Western Europe, Mr. Speaker, we have established a permanent presence through our regional capsule store in the UK. And the name is Caribbean Gros Manger. We have branded this. We have one store in the UK, and we intend to replicate in North America, Southern Europe, and potentially in the Middle East, Mr. Speaker, in this year. Mr. Speaker, I draw the House's attention to our innovative approach to cultural exports. The most exportable song initiative, Mr. Speaker, has created new revenue streams in our creative sector. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, our export agency will be further enhancing export promotion of this sector by strengthening and improving the online presence of our artists on top musical sharing platforms globally. This digital strategy will amplify the international reach of our talented musicians and position St. Lucia as a significant contributor to global music landscape. Mr. Speaker, I'm particularly proud to inform this Honorable House of another landmark achievement in protecting and promoting our national unique heritage. Export St. Lucia has successfully assisted in the registration of our national first ever geographic indication, a milestone that underscores our commitment to establishing strong intellectual property framework for our premium exports. And there, Mr. Speaker, in collaboration with St. Lucia distillers, whose exceptional craftsmanship has long positioned them among the world's finest rum producers, the geographical indication for St. Lucian rum represents more than a certification. It is a formal recognition of our island's unique rum-making heritage. Mr. Speaker, I am pleased to inform this Honorable House that our export agency is also pursuing similar intellectual property protection for our CMOS industry, which is regarded as one of the best in the world. In the area of honey, Mr. Speaker, St. Lucia honey has recently gained significant international acclaim, solidifying its reputation for exceptional quality on the global stage. Mr. Speaker, at the prestigious 2024 UK National Honey Show, one of the world's largest and most distinguished honey competitions, St. Lucia secured the title of Best International Honey. Mr. Jeg Clark of Beaufort won the top honors, followed last year. Mr. Donson Stanley of Soufrière also got the first prize. Mr. Speaker, Emerald Farms of Soufrière claimed second place. And we also had 3 of the 7 top positions were awarded to St. Lucian beekeepers, Mr. Speaker. This is telling us that we have a unique product. And I can tell you that as the Minister responsible for Commerce, I will do all I have to do to ensure that our honey producers receive the support that is required, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and I pledge all our parliamentary reps to do the same. Mr. Speaker, the successful hosting of the Independence Expo by Export St. Lucia in Vieux Fort represents in itself not merely a change of venue, but a fundamental shift in our approach to economic development and commercial revitalization, Mr. Speaker. We are saying to the people of Vieux Fort that we are going to be with you and to remain with you. Mr. Speaker, I quickly shift to the area of standards and quality assurance and the work of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the work of the Bureau falls on the 4 areas: certification, compliance, metrology, and standard development. Permit me a few minutes to share with you some of the very important work and projects which are ongoing at the Bureau to raise the quality and safety of our goods, those that we produce and those that we consume, and to boost our international competitiveness and, by extension, economic resistance.
Remember, you have 15 minutes left.
15 minutes. Yeah. We'll have another. Mr. Speaker, I believe on the certification, I want to speak on a technical assistant project in packaging and labeling for MSMEs in St. Lucia. And there, Mr. Speaker, the overall cost of that project was $150,000 US. Mr. Speaker, 104 MSMEs were trained in packaging and labeling requirements, 78 in market positioning, and 50 had the packaging and labeling assessed, and a total of 100 labels were redesigned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Bureau will build on the success of this recently concluded project to initiate a new targeted initiative for MSMEs in the tourism sector in order to enhance the production of authentic St. Lucian products. The second project, Mr. Speaker, is enhancing the capacity of stakeholders in the agricultural sector to supply quality products in new markets. This project was funded by CDB under the special funds resources, Mr. Speaker, allocated from the European Partnership Agreements. Mr. Speaker, the project contained: 1, the development of an online training program in good agricultural practices, good manufacturing practices, and HACCP analysis critical control points. The training of 20% of registered farmers in good agricultural practices, training of 15 staff or technicians operating in pack houses in good manufacturing practices and HACCP standards. Conducting of an audit of the 2 government-owned ports, which is the sea and airports, against good manufacturing standards. Mr. Speaker, the overall objective of this project is the implementation of a capacity building program for farmers, fresh produce exporters, and packhouse operators in order to meet internationally accepted food safety standards and enhance the capabilities to increase market share in existing markets and to take advantage of new export market opportunities when presented. Mr. Speaker, some 105 farmers benefited from training in GAP. 14 persons, including packhouse operators, received training, and 10 persons, which are packhouse operators and staff of Export St. Lucia, received training in HACCP. Mr. Speaker, there is another project called the counter verification of the quality service delivered by primary care facilities. And there the Bureau is working with the Ministry of Health to ensure that the services that they provide to our persons with diabetes and hypertension, that the equipments are functioning properly, Mr. Speaker. The fourth project, Mr. Speaker, is certification in food safety standards. And there, the Bureau has developed a strategy to assist the food handling industry to reach the certification which they require through a step-by-step approach towards an ISO level of certification. Going forward, Mr. Speaker, the Bureau seeks to offer accredited certification services in good manufacturing practices and in HACCP standards. Mr. Speaker, under the area of beauty and wellness certification, the Bureau, along with Coalition of Services and the Ministry, have collaborated and provided support to our spa operators who receive support under our MSME loan program, Mr. Speaker. In the area of metrology, the Bureau has embarked on a project which includes strengthening the regulatory framework for utility meters, automatic catch weighing instruments, and blood pressure meters. Mr. Speaker, we will review the Metrology Act and regulations to make appropriate amendments so as to ensure that instruments that measure electrical, water, and blood pressure, as well as fish catches, provide reliable and accurate measurements during their lifespan. Mr. Speaker, in the area of compliance, there is a project that the Bureau has, and that is enhancing the capacity of the Bureau to conduct market surveillance and conformity assessments. This aspect of the work of the Bureau, Mr. Speaker, is aimed at ensuring that products in the market comply with established standards and regulations, which help to safeguard consumers and foster a fair or level playing field for the conduct of business. This project seeks to strengthen the mechanism for monitoring and verifying the compliance of products entering our market. Mr. Speaker, the results so far, 63 notices of violations have been identified and over 200 non-conforming products were identified and measures taken to remove them on the market, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in support of enhancing market surveillance, the Bureau has started an initiative to improve labelings of products on produce and goods in the local market. And they've done a few things. There has been a workshop for product labeling at no cost for over 60 participants, including labeling for egg producers, a presentation of labeling requirements for prepackaged goods, and food delivered at the Business Month SLBS sensitization workshop. And the Bureau also identified uncorrected labeling deficiencies in the bakery and poultry industry, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying all of this to give our consumers the assurance that the Bureau continues to work quietly to ensure that the products on the supermarket shelves, Mr. Speaker, is good for consumption. Mr. Speaker, I will now look a noted development and benefit on one of the projects that is being done by the Bureau at the moment. Is impacting, for example, we had a situation where the head of the standards development and the deputy director of drafting at the Office of the Attorney General Chambers completed international technical programs together with our people at the cannabis industry within the US. Mr. Speaker, I will now speak a little on the area of our free zone, Mr. Speaker. because this is an agency in the South that is critical for us. Mr. Speaker, the free zone is critical for the development of the south of the island, the international situation. And then, Mr. Speaker, for the free zone this year, we have two critical projects. We have the renewable energy project, Mr. Speaker, where the free zone intends to invest some $564,000 for solar energy, Mr. Speaker. And this is going to benefit not only the free zone administration, but the tenants of the free zone, Mr. Speaker. The free zone has an annual electricity bill of some $222,000. And after this investment, Mr. Speaker, there is projected savings of almost 90%, which will be almost $200,000, Mr. Speaker. So this project is ongoing. And the second project for the free zone, Mr. Speaker, is the expansion of the free zone itself. This expansion, Mr. Speaker, the free zone seeks to expand the rental space under its management and control. At the moment, the authority plans to expand rental space at
Remember, you have 5 minutes left. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Standing Order 38.2 be suspended to allow 42.8, sorry, to allow the honourable member an extra 15 minutes to complete her presentation.
Honourable members, the question is that Standing Order 32.8 be suspended and Standing Order 32.10 be invoked to allow the member for Soufrière Fossajac an additional 15 minutes in which to complete a presentation. As many as of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Please proceed, member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, members. Mr. Speaker, I was speaking about the free zone, and I was saying that the second project is the expansion of the rental space at the free zone. And that expansion, it plans to expand by some 64,000 square feet additional rental space, Mr. Speaker, at an estimated, and this is projected to bring in annual revenues of some $1.5 million, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this particular project, Mr. Speaker, is critical for the own survival of this institution, and I am very pleased that the board has taken the decision to expand the free zone, Mr. Speaker. We are hoping that with the development of Port Beaufort, that we are anticipating the development of Port Beaufort, Mr. Speaker, and the free zone is repositioning itself for that purpose. Mr. Speaker, I now want to look at consumer protection, Mr. Speaker. As a government, we understand the everyday pressures our people face, and we remain firm in our commitment to ensure that consumers are treated fairly and with dignity. We are aware that the challenges posed by rising inflation, and I want to assure this Honourable House, Mr. Speaker, that this government is working assiduously to address this issue as far as possible. Several of the policy initiatives outlined by the Honourable Prime Minister were aimed in that regard. With this in mind, Mr. Speaker, I'm particularly pleased to report that this government has given approval for the establishment of a competition policy framework for the country. We are currently working with regional agencies and the Office of the Attorney General for the development of enabling legislation. This forward-looking policy will provide much-needed regulations, specifically in the area of mergers and acquisitions, ensuring that no single entity can dominate the market to the detriment of consumers. Mr. Speaker, this legislation will protect consumers from monopolistic practices and help create an environment where innovation thrives and businesses can earn customer loyalty through value and service, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are also strengthening our legal tool to ensure high-quality service standards to consumers with the amendments of the Distribution and Price of Goods Act, which now empowers our officers to issue tickets and penalties to businesses that engage in illegal practices, such as selling goods in excess of the maximum approved selling price, hoarding or misrepresentation of goods. This is a critical step in ensuring that businesses operate within the law and that consumers are not exploited. It also enforces the message that the markets must function with integrity and that this government will not tolerate practices that put profit over people. Mr. Speaker, please note that all of these actions aimed at regulating competition, enforcing fair pricing, and combating unethical business practices are driven by a single goal, that is, protecting the consumer. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding all what we want to put in place, we believe that we need to strengthen our efforts at consumer education, Mr. Speaker. We believe that when the consumer is empowered with information and education, that consumer is a more empowered consumer and will participate in the economy in a much bigger way. Mr. Speaker, this government will continue to work together with agencies and sectors to build a marketplace that is fair, transparent, and accommodating to meet all citizens. Mr. Speaker, I want to say a little on our regulated substance authority. And Mr. Speaker, this is the new kid on the block. The Regulated Substance Authority came into being as a result of the responsibility to form a cannabis industry. I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, in January, the RSA released the draft Cannabis and Industrial Hemp Bill for public comments. In February and March, the RSA embarked on an island-wide public consultation and multi-sectoral stakeholder engagement. Now a fixture in the St. Lucia calendar, the RSA also hosted its 2025 symposium in March. Mr. Speaker, already in April, the RSA has prepared and submitted a memorandum to the Attorney General's Chamber to request changes to the cannabis bill incorporating the comments received from the general public. We expect this revised version of the bill to be presented to the Cabinet of Ministers in the coming weeks, and I look forward to its reading in this Honorable House. Mr. Speaker, the bill is but the backbone of the industry being birthed. The extremities and details are to be found in over 15 regulations, which have already been drafted and will be published for public review in the coming weeks. Mr. Speaker, as a minister with responsibility for the RSA, I have at every opportunity instructed the board and staff of the RSA not to let up, not to slow down, and to keep the totality of its mandate and motto in focus. In addition, Mr. Speaker, the Cabinet of Ministers has assigned matters relevant to radiation and safety and security to the RSA. Just as was done with cannabis and the Cannabis Industrial Hemp Bill, I have directed the RSA to release the Radiation Safety and Radioactive Source Bill for public review and comments, and expects this to occur in the coming weeks. Mr. Speaker, beyond cannabis and radiation, the RSA has already commenced its efforts and has requested and is awaiting a report on the review of other substances. As part of this review, alcohol, petroleum, explosives, pesticides, and other hazardous substances will be the subject of examination. Mr. Speaker, the Cannabis and Industrial Hemp Bill and regulations will usher in an entirely new industry which will afford persons an opportunity to legally cultivate, manufacture, and trade cannabis and cannabis products. Beyond the players in this industry, we expect entrepreneurial development in the industries which will complement the sector with transport, security, packaging, testing, cleaning, auditing, and many other services which the players in the industry will require. And we see the same for other industries as they come on board. Mr. Speaker, as it relates to customer welfare, the work that the RSA is doing in the area of radiation, Mr. Speaker, is critical. Because right now, when you think of going for an X-ray, the people in the medical fraternity and the labs will have to be careful to ensure that the right protections are given to our consumers. This is an extremely important set of work, Mr. Speaker. We've been using X-rays for a long time, but now, as a government, we are going to ensure that the public is protected when you go for an X-ray. And that is the work of the Regulated Substance Authority. That is the work that is being done, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, safety, certainty, and success. That is the motto of the RSA. I trust we are a lot clearer about the objectives and mandate of this new Regulated Substance Authority. Mr. Speaker, with the foregoing elaboration, I think I have spoken at length as to what my ministry is doing as it relates to the appropriation bill, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank you and indeed my colleagues present, as well as my constituents and other citizens listening through the media, for staying with me throughout this discourse, for your kind and dedicated support, Mr. Speaker. I want to take this moment to thank my permanent secretary and the staff at the ministry, the board of directors of the various agencies, the RSA, Export St. Lucia, the Free Zone, the members of the Consumers Association, the management and staff attached to my ministry, Mr. Speaker. They have all contributed to the work and continue to contribute to the work that is happening. I trust that you are all better informed with respect to the programs and initiatives that have been approved and the work plan of the ministry for this coming year. The main thing for us is entrepreneurial development. The second is building resilience, Mr. Speaker. All what we are doing here is in line with what the Prime Minister has raised. Our economy is growing. The world out there is hostile, and we have to ensure that as consumers, we do what we have to do in terms of changing our patterns, that our businesses cooperate with the government. The Prime Minister has been overly generous to the business community, overly generous to our bakers, overly generous to our farmers, overly generous to our youth, to our fishers. I want overly generous to the constituent of Soufrière Fauchejak. So I want each one of us as St. Lucians to take our own responsibilities seriously, to eat what we grow and grow what we eat. I want us to support our local businesses. We will do all to show you the products when we enter the supermarket shelves, to understand, even though it is 2 cents more, please support our local industry. I want to speak to the procurement officers within the government offices and the government agencies, the hospital, the prisons. Refocus your purchasing policies to support the locals, to support our local manufacturers. That is what will keep this country going.
Remember, you have 5 minutes left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am confident that in working together, by making the necessary adjustments, we will overcome our challenges and emerge stronger and better as a country. I therefore say that we should fear nothing, that all we should do is to move with faith, putting always the Almighty before us. And as a country, with a Prime Minister that has been blessed by the Almighty, we will continue to march forward together. I therefore call for the support of all to join me and this government in this noble venture. May God continue to guide and bless us, and long live the government and people of St. Lucia. I thank you.
Member for Babino.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to lend my support to the 2025-26 budget presented by the member for Castries East and Prime Minister and Minister of Finance under the theme, Enhancing Our Infrastructure for Security and Prosperity. Mr. Speaker, I am speechless and ran out of words to describe this budget. Therefore, I ask you to lend me a few of your words. Before I heard of the budget, my anticipation was described as a colorful flower with many petals. And I recalled telling the Prime Minister that I'm expecting some of these beautiful petals, of which I expect to be for the Babino constituency. This is exactly what he did, and I am pleased, just like thousands of St. Lucians, both here and abroad. Promises made and promises kept. This is what this budget is about. I was even more excited this morning when I noticed the Prime Minister was not seated in his seat. And I said I will capitalize on this chance because I had a few things to say. And I said they would tell him what I said, but he would not be there. But he happened to sneak in time. He returned in time. Mr. Speaker, I recalled hearing the Prime Minister a few years ago when he assumed his position, and he made a statement that I will do what is necessary to improve the quality of life for the people of St. Lucia. He said he has been in government for how many decades, and now he is Prime Minister, and he will do whatever is necessary to improve the quality of life for St. Lucians. Premier Ministre dit, il s'est un gouvernement pour un haut 20 années. Là, il vient Premier Ministre, avec qui il fait ça qui est nécessaire. Il break down toute barricade qu'il a, puis regarder qui ça fait pour faire la vie plus meilleure by Saint-Lucia. Et c'est ça mon budget salani adidaï. And I take this budget in line with a phrase that I like a lot. A phrase that speaks to, I have done so much with so little that I can do anything with nothing. That means we can make ends meet with whatever resources that we have. Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to express condolences to the families of former lecturer at the Teachers College, Mrs. Muriel Gill. And I recall Mrs. Gill when I was a student at the Teachers College. She gave her students a stern warning. And she said, when I give you my assignment, you have to do my work. And when you do it, you get a mark. And if you don't do it, you still get a mark. Because when you have not done the work, you get a 0, and that is a mark. I want to express condolences with the family of a member of staff who just passed away in the Department of Trading in my ministry, Karen Charlie, a very young woman who passed away, and I want to express condolences with the family. And to Mr. Alexis Armstrong, Deputy Secretary General of CARICOM, on the passing, Alexis Armstrong, on the Armstrong Alexis, right. On the passing of his mom, Catherine Alexis. I met him just a few weeks ago where he went, after he went to celebrate his mother's birthday. This is very, very touching. Condolences to the family. Mr. Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to thank the persons who have given me support in my constituency. And Mr. Speaker, I am proud to recognize them sitting in the House today. This is the first time that they made the effort to come and keep me company in this cold room. I can feel the warmth. I can feel the pleasure and the strength and the support of the people in Babono. They are seated here and they have taken time out to follow this session today. I want to thank my husband who has given me unwavering support, my immediate family. I want to thank Mr. Aplau, Elias Joseph. He's one of very generous supporter in the constituency, helping all families. And the golden eggs, always lay some golden eggs for the Babono people. And whenever they ask him for support, he do give out. I want to thank the staff of the Public Service, Labor and Gender Affairs, and St. Lucians around the world, especially special thanks to the Prime Minister and my cabinet colleagues and the leadership and membership of the St. Lucia Labour Party to give me this opportunity to serve this country at the highest decision-making level. I want to thank the staff who are working with me in the constituency and those who are working in the ministry. I want to take this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to congratulate the St. Lucia Teachers Union, as today they have their annual general meeting. I always attend the meetings, and it's my apology. I expressed that yesterday to the leadership of the union, that because we have this session in Parliament, I will be absent. And they did ask me to convey to the Prime Minister that his budget address had a line in it that surpassed their expectation. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of the Public Service, Labor and Gender Affairs has a specific mandate to provide high-quality service to the public in an efficient and effective manner and to preserve industrial peace in an environment where gender equality is the norm. This ministry is the right hand of the Prime Minister and the heartbeat of the country. This is the ministry which gives support to every other ministry in providing human resource support, office facilities, organizational structure and development, training for public officers, and coordinates the advancement of information technology to improve the functioning of the government machinery. The public service is responsible for the 12,500 employees on the government payroll. And every month, when government has to pay its employees, the public service has to prepare the payroll to submit to finance and the treasury. In a recently concluded strategic plan, the stakeholders coined a vision and mission for the ministry, which reads as follows. The vision: a beacon of excellence, leading innovation in the delivery of exceptional public service. And the mission: to deliver exceptional public services while enhancing employee well-being and engagement through human resource engagement, institutional and innovation in a safe working environment. This vision and mission can be achieved through the following principles and values: confidentiality, efficiency, collaboration, transparency, and professionalism. Mr. Speaker, I want to bring you up to date with some of the promises made and the promises kept in the era of digitization, which is a major component of the responsibilities of the public service. My presentation will focus on the changes that will be undertaken at the Ministry of the Public Service, Labor and Gender Affairs. This will be based on 4 solid pillars of construction as we embrace our infrastructure for security and prosperity, as captured in the budget address presented by the Honorable Prime Minister. Existe pour bâtir un cahier, c'est pour ni 4 bons pilotes. And that is why the public service has 4 solid pillars. Pillar number 1, introduction of new legislation. Mr. Speaker, the Public Sector Modernization Bill and Regulation. This will replace the staff orders which has been in existence for over 40 years. The exercise is expected to be completed by the end of May 2025. Pillar number 2, a strategic, operational, and implementation plan for the Ministry of the Public Service, Labor and Gender Affairs. This exercise, Mr. Speaker, is completed. Pillar number 4, new location for the Department of the Public Service, the Public Service Management and Administration. And this new location was identified by the Cabinet of Ministers as the second floor of the Orange Grove Plaza. That transition, the process has started. Pillar number 4, reclassification of the public service. The present classification has been in existence for the last 33 years. The exercise will commence in a few months. We have identified the resources for this exercise, and it should be completed within a year. Mr. Speaker, the main engagement as captured by the Prime Minister in his budget statement speaks highly and profoundly on digitization. And digitization is necessary for St. Lucia to become a transformed and equitable society that fully leverages digital technologies to propel innovation, national development, and global competitiveness, with a resilient economy and good governance as its foundation. The Cabinet of Ministers has established an oversight committee to monitor the implementation of ICT programs and to report and advise the Cabinet on policy matters in relation to technology in St. Lucia. St. Lucia's digital development strategy is based on the following. Digital enabling environment includes 1, digital government infrastructure, platforms and services, digital skills and technology adoption. The Department of the Public Service Modernization is a primary government agency which is responsible for driving St. Lucia's digital economy through a Cabinet conclusion number 642 of 2013. And Mr. Speaker, I want to stress that the process of digitization in St. Lucia started in 2013, and I am very much aware that it was a Labour government that was in office at the time. And I think this is an indication that when people speak of people not having vision, that government has always had a vision. And that vision has been to transform St. Lucia and make St. Lucia better for all St. Lucians. The Department of Public Sector Modernization mandate was broadened to lead the digital transformation of St. Lucia's public service. In this modern era of a digital landscape that is rapidly expanding, a national digital development policy strategy is there to transform the public and private sectors through the integration of digital technologies, while ensuring alignment with legal, ethical, and regulatory frameworks. The focus is on fostering innovation, efficiency, accessibility, while safeguarding the rights of individuals and communities. Mr. Speaker, we have been revolutionizing St. Lucia's digital ecosystem as we work towards establishing a national authentication framework, Government of St. Lucia Digital ID Platform. And this means, Mr. Speaker, that St. Lucia is on the path of giving one ID number to every single citizen of St. Lucia. What we have existing now is that some people have an ID number for their ID card, one for their driver's license, another for their NIC, and the numbers keep changing. As they move, they have to pull out different cards. With the national authentic framework, every single individual from both will have their ID. And this is linked to any other ID that you have. You will be recorded as the same person. And it is interesting, Mr. Speaker, that the Department of Public Sector Modernization did the digitization of the Transport Department. And at that department, they found that there were 1,500 duplications in terms of vehicle registration. And people were making false driver's license and all kinds of things where their photos are superimposed. And they come with all kinds of false chassis numbers and names of owners of vehicles. With digitization, that can be corrected. Se mounan ki ka gade ay fè tout ti bagay mette tout non yo, changer non yo portwe yo, yo vle yon ache vie passeport fè tout bagay. Et puis digitization nan ou pa kay sa maon, ou kay priyan sa. So we want this system in St. Lucia so everybody can be identified as who they are. So far, we have seen the number of registered users of the platform. It has been in the region of 27,392 users. And in 2024, we had 5,409. Actuellement, tout moun ni pou ni yo kay ni numéro ki moun ou ye. Ek ou pas sa changer ID tie portwe ou, ek mette portwe an lot moun. Ek yo pa kay do un semiti ay pon birth certificate moun, ek ay fon an lot ID card. Yo kay boucho wadi de sa. The number of applications per agency. Registry of Companies and Intellectual Property, 3,809. Civil Status Registry, 16,035. Ministry of Transport, 95,251. The number of applications by gender. Females, 30,775. Males, 65,809. And those who did not want to be identified as male or female, 18,509. The revenue collection through the Department of Transport amounts to $21,135,049. And when people can use technology to pay their driver's license, to pay their vehicle license, it makes life easier for them. And they are more likely to pay. Rather than taking transport and taking long lines, they are taking a long time to get the transaction. With technology, government stands to benefit and have serious savings on the part of persons who use a lot of the time to go and do these transactions. Mr. Speaker, we have DigiGov, which is a one-stop shop for government public services where online transactions can be conducted with government in an inclusive, equitable, and secure manner, and will aggregate. We have an aggregate of 130 services across 7 ministries and 13 agencies in a central online hub using a phased approach. Provide a robust platform that conforms to international standards and supports E-to-N services. Streamline and integrate businesses processes to create a greater public value and increase public trust in government of St. Lucia. Support the establishment of a national authentication framework to enable secure digital identity management, build internal efficiencies, and increase productivity while ensuring transparency, security, and accountability. The National Authentic Framework is a game changer for the government agencies, providing sophisticated identity verification across multiple databases. Its seamless integration with infrastructure ensures minimal disruptions while enhancing service provision, ultimately aiming to create a more efficient and responsive government ecosystem. We have some upcoming services, that is Registry of Companies, National Authentic Framework, passports, transport services, labor, where we will be digitizing labor work permit application, police, and commerce. The department is also exploring engaging in adult literacy using the virtual model. DigiGo could assist the Ministry of Education in training teachers and students to help them so that they can help their parents use online government services. The use of AI, artificial intelligence, can be used to expedite work and increase productivity. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister did mention GINet, and here we have GINet Phase 3 solutions. This project will assist St. Lucia in developing, implementing, and expanding the St. Lucia Government Island-wide Network GINet project. It will further assist St. Lucia's development and provision of a wireless local area network, connection to public areas. As mentioned in the budget by the Honorable Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for Castries East, this will be achieved by installing wireless access and other supporting networking infrastructure in an additional 47 selected public areas. So après ça tout partout Saint Lucie ou kay joindre wireless moun ni phone yo et que ça servi et c'est ça gouvernement ça mette au lion tout pays et nous ni 47 places côté yo ça mette c'est bagay ça là pour ça joindre internet. The objectives of this project is to assist St. Lucia in developing a wireless local area network, connection in public areas, government agencies, schools, and rural areas, to allow the general public, tourists, and businesses to use free or low-cost wireless in public areas, to enhance internet penetration and access to online services provided by the government and other enterprises, to help motivate the government of St. Lucia and enterprises to provide a wide range of innovative applications on this public internet infrastructure. The status of the project now, as of January 31st, 2025, the project entailed the development of wireless services across the 47 sites, utilizing Metro E for connectivity and integrating 89 RUCAS access points with the existing infrastructures at gates. As a result, the number of sites under the GINet has increased to 97 sites. Updated reports indicated that everything is functioning properly. The Digitization Center, the main aim of this center is to shift from paper documents to digital documents placed online and to assist with transforming the information retrieval and storage of these documents. New software, Google Document Artificial Intelligence. The document AI is ideal for the processes of the digitization center since it delivers high accuracy in data extraction. Also, it increases efficiency by decreasing manual work and speeding up document handling activities, advanced data processing capacities that go beyond document retrieval, content understanding, storage, scalable workflows, and enabling intelligent automation. Upgrading to the Document AI platform allows the government of St. Lucia to have access to help desk support and technical capacity to remove issues promptly, to resolve issues promptly. Additionally, digitizing documents become easier with more cost-effective storage and retrieval for information sharing. Mr. Speaker, in the Department of the Public Service, we have the Human Resource Division. The Human Resource Division plays a lead role in the delivery of specific human resource services, categorized as five major functions. Namely recruitment and selection, under delegated authority, performance management, employee and labor relations, benefits and compensation administration, and the development and implementation of human resource management policies to the wider public, which comprises approximately 12,500 employees. L'année 12 500 travailleurs à gouvernement. Côté département qui a travaillé à sous mener mon en gouvernement sélecté pour yo travail. Ça c'est un chai papier qui a venu en département public service. Et là nous servir technologie il a fait plus à l'aise, plus facile pour moun sa joindre service là yo ka gade pour. Government is the largest single employer in St. Lucia. Together, these five core functions under the purview of the Human Resource Management Division accounts for 90 processes, all of which have remained manual for the past few decades. These manual processes have no doubt contributed significantly to delays in the division's response time. In addition, based on reports generated during the last 2 years, the Human Resource Division, with its current resources, can complete only 40% of its workload monthly. To turn the tide, two major projects are currently being implemented by the Human Resource Division. One, the first project, which commenced in the last fiscal year 24-25, is called the Cloud Suite Human Capital Management Project. In the 24-25 budget policy address, the Honorable Prime Minister declared that the government will invest significantly in the digital space to improve efficiency in the public service and better serve the public. Accordingly, during the 24-25 fiscal year, the Human Resource Management Division became a beneficiary of a significant investment in that electronic system, which will be implemented in 3 phases. The first phase is scheduled to go live in September this year. The implementation of this HCM project means that for the first time in the history of the public service of St. Lucia, approximately 51 out of the 90 processes within the HRM division will be automated. Simultaneously, the avenues are being explored Other avenues are being explored to automate the other 39 processes. As a result of these automated processes, it is expected that the HRM division will achieve several benefits, including improved efficiency, reduction in time taken to process matters like leave. Many people apply for leave and they say they do not get their papers on time, it takes too long. With this process, it's going to expedite the exercise. Improve accuracy, reduction in calculations and data entry, data-driven reports and decision-making, HR matrix, HR analytics to identify and monitor trends in areas like employee performance, cost savings, the uncalculated administrative cost. The second project is a one-year project which will commence during this fiscal year, 25-26, to complement the ongoing efforts associated with transitioning from 90 manual processes. This investment will enable the hiring of additional employees for the one-year period to strengthen the capacity of the HRM division, meet the operational demands, and support the ongoing automation processes so that service delivery is not compromised. Specifically, this one-year project is expected to generate the following project outputs and outcomes for the HRM division. Cleared backlog. Backlog continue to grow as the division can complete only 40% of monthly workload. The number of correspondence, applications, and everything else that comes to the department, the current human resource capacity we have there can only handle 40% of that for the month. 90 streamlined processes in readiness for automation, faster turnaround time for processing requests submitted by the agency. So we are very happy in the department that the Prime Minister has committed the resources so that we can begin to move in the technological world to advance the work of the department. The Public Service Department was also involved in the summer employment exercise, the program, where 266 students gained part-time employment during the summer holidays. So at least they were able to make a little money to buy some of what they needed to go back to school. There were some children who actually helped their parents so that they too would generate some revenue. The Prime Minister made that fund available for us to provide employment for these children. Those from Sir Arthur and those who had completed were in Forms 4 in the final year at secondary school. We had Public Service Week of Activities and Public Service Day, which is celebrated on the 23rd of June every year. And last year we had the Top Performers Award, and we were very grateful that the Prime Minister attended this activity. Initially he said he would not have stayed for the entire activity, but he alone can explain, but he stayed throughout. And he was able to present the top award to the top performer in the public service. The other ministries identified their top performers, so every ministry had their top performer, but the overall top performer in the public service was rewarded by the Prime Minister at that ceremony. In the public service, we have the training division. Key program strategies and initiatives. To feature and deliver at least 5 e-learning courses via government's learning management system in the 25-26 training catalog by March 2026. The division is currently in the process of introducing a learning management system which will be used to offer e-learning courses to government employees. These e-learning courses, so that those e-learning courses, they can be delivered via our learning management system. With this platform, the training division will be able to create, organize, and manage course content using various formats, including videos, tests, quiz, etc. To continue efforts at customizing an onboarding program for ministries, departments to complete a first draft by March this year. The intention is to develop an onboarding program for new entrants in the public service, which will be customized for each ministry or department or division. Stakeholder engagements and data collection has begun. Engagements with the ministries' departments will commence this quarter, 2025-2026. We have many people who come into the public service, they want employment in the public service, but they have not had prior training in terms of discipline, what is expected of them in terms of attendance, punctuality, professionalism, and how you relate to the public. So the training division is designing a course so that they can be familiar, they are prepared for the different ministries that they are going to be assigned to, and they will teach them how to interact, how to relate to the public, because we are definitely providing public service. The onboarding program is expected to help new hires in the public service to adjust to the social and performance aspects of their jobs to accelerate their levels of productivity. To conduct a service-wide learning needs assessment to identify the training needs among employees of all government agencies. The last service-wide learning needs assessment that was concluded by the training division to identify the training needs of all public officers was done in 2022. Some of the objectives of the 25-26 learning needs assessment include identifying the specific skills or competencies training needs of every public officer, informing of the training catalog for the next 3 years, the next 3 financial years, commencing 2026 and 2027. The division will also develop at least 10 targeted agency-specific training which aligns with the ministry's department's strategic objectives. Agency-specific training programs are specific and conducted by or through individual government agencies, specifically for their employees. For example, Ministry of Agriculture will have certain types of training they want for persons who work in that ministry. Ministry of Tourism will want a different kind of orientation for tourism. It will go for education, so they are designing the training to suit the specific ministry based on their needs and how they want to approach the work. So we cannot have people just coming in and they want to do what they want. They will be given the prior training so that they can align themselves with the culture of this ministry. Specific agency training programs are designed to improve agency performance and ensure that employees of the agency have the required skills, knowledge, and abilities needed to perform their jobs satisfactorily. Agency-specific training programs may be undertaken locally or overseas. The agency will identify and access job-specific training that will be beneficial to their staff members and submit requests for the specific training, identifying the anticipated professional, technical, or specialist training courses to be undertaken. To feature and deliver introduction of artificial intelligence courses service-wide. The program is designed to provide beginners with practical knowledge and hands-on experience in artificial intelligence. In the Department of the Public Service, we have Organizational Development Division. The Organizational Development Division is required to effectively manage organizational systems and structures and workings of the public administration. It is also charged with the responsibility of providing strategic leadership in organizational development interventions to line agencies for their continuous improvement in operations and service delivery. The core functions include the proposed strategic plan for the 5 years 2025 to 2030 acknowledges that the government of St. Lucia is facing a period of change at the global, regional, and national levels. The public sector mechanism responsible for preparing the people's system and processes must now be realigned and modernized to lead the change. To this end, the Organizational Development Division plays a pivotal role in facilitating institutional strengthening geared at enhancing overall organizational health, structure, and functionality. In pursuit of this mandate, the government of St. Lucia will engage a consulting firm to conduct a comprehensive review of the reclassification pay plan. We have a reclassification structure that speaks to what existed about 30 to 40 years ago. When the Public Service Commission is appointing some persons to some positions, they ask them if, and the paper still has, do you have a Standard 6 certificate? And there are times they don't make provision for knowledge and skills in technology. So when we do the reclassification, we have to move with the times. We have to realign persons' qualification and what is expected of them based on their job descriptions. So that is a very intense exercise, and this exercise will take about 1 year for us to do the reclassification of the entire public service. You have persons who are in this department, they are not aligned with this one because they have the same certificate, they have the same experience, yet their salary, their grades are different. So when government goes
Remember,
through that...
you have 15 minutes left.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. So this is something that we are engaging in, and it's going to be a costly exercise. However, we have secured the funding for that exercise, and it is supposed to start soon. The objectives of this consultancy are to review and develop job descriptions that align with modern public roles and incorporate digital skills and qualifications, review and update benchmark qualification and various qualification metrics to encompass not only academic qualification, but digital skills, technology and vocational training, professional certification and license. To align classification and pay plan with modern human resource practices and digital transformation goals. Develop job families and job bands along with the requisite competency framework. Build capacities through the conduct of practical training exercise and prepare an implementation plan. Expected outcomes of this consultancy is a comprehensive job descriptions that improve role clarity, enhance employee productivity, and align positions with evolving demands of a digital economy. Streamline merit-based recruitment process, benchmark qualification that values not only academic credentials, but also technical skills, digital competencies, and professional certifications, ensuring a highly skilled and adaptable workforce. And enhance job evaluation framework and classification and pay plan that promotes pay equity, reduce inconsistencies, and align salaries and job complexities and required competencies, focus on best practices. Mr. Speaker, we speak of practical training sessions that equip target groups with the skills to develop job descriptions, apply job evaluation principles, competencies framework, and benchmark methodologies effectively. This consultancy is critical to achieving the division's strategic goals and aligning with the Department of the Public Service strategic priority of providing leadership in policy planning, management, administration services, and human resource management to support national development objectives. Mr. Speaker, as you know, the Department of the Public Service has concluded negotiations with the public sector unions, and this lasted for over a year. It took quite a bit of energy and time from the department because we had to provide a negotiating team with the secretariat. The two permanent secretaries were on the negotiating team, and so far we can safely say that we have concluded most of the negotiations. We still have one or two outstanding, and government paid over $30 million in back pay that was tax-free to public officers, with a salary increase of 13% over the two triennium. We have the Facilities Management Unit in the Department of the Public Service, Mr. Speaker, and this unit is responsible for all government-owned and rented facilities, and it is also preparing for the movement of the Department of Public Service to the Orange Grove Plaza, and it is also engaged in enhancing security at the Graham Lucia Administrative Building. This project is nearing completion. Facilities management will also be undertaking major repairs to the roof of the building, that is Graham Lucia Building, and retrofitting a building in the south of the island to bring government services to the residents in the south of the country while we await the construction of the new administrative center that was promised in the budget by the Prime Minister. The Department of Labor, Mr. Speaker, on May 1st, it will be Labor Day, and yesterday we had the launch of Labor Day activities at the Cultural Center under the theme, Revolutionizing Health and Safety, the Role of AI and Digitization at Work. On the 24th, today, as we speak, we have a national consultation, ILO Convention 138, that deals with minimum age convention. This was established in 1973, and St. Lucia is yet to ratify this convention. That's one of the ILO fundamental convention. And we have Convention 187, Promotional Framework for Occupational Safety and Health, that was established in 2006. This workshop is now ongoing at the Harbour Club. Tomorrow we have a labor fair on Derrick Walcott Square. All members of parliament are encouraged to come and see the different government departments and agencies. They have their booths displayed on Derrick Walcott Square. So at lunchtime, we are encouraged. I think last year we did it, and they will be happy to see Parliament come and interface with them for a few minutes. We have the health screening at Graham Lucia Building on Monday 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And as Minister, I will be giving an address for Labor Day. And Labor Day, May Day, which is May 1st, at the VG Sports Complex from 10 a.m., they have the May Day rally. All the unions, government, and employers will converge to celebrate Workers' Day. As a government of labor, we expect to see all of us there to celebrate with the workers. Mr. Speaker, As we look at the Department of Labor, the Prime Minister did engage in some major activities to strengthen the Department of Labor. As this government continues its steadfast commitment to putting people first, we recognize that a fair, transparent, and well-regulated labor market is essential to fostering economic growth and social stability. A strong and progressive labor framework not only protects the rights of workers, but also ensures a conducive environment for business development and advancement. So basically, we have been doing the best that we can. The Prime Minister has been doing the best that he can to ensure that he meets the needs of most of the workers in St. Lucia. In line with this vision, the government has prioritized the modernization of our labor legislation and administrative system to better serve the people of this country. Last year, as Minister, I led a tripartite delegation to the ILO regional office in Trinidad and Tobago to visit the office and to engage the staff, seeking their assistance in strengthening the Department of Labor in St. Lucia. And so far, I must indicate that it is already bearing fruits. As we speak, I mentioned that they are actually here helping us to engage the public in discussing these two ILO conventions so that we can try to see how best we can get these conventions ratified at the ILO conference in June this year. And it has to be done at the ILO in the presence of the Director General of the ILO. If we get these two conventions ratified, St. Lucia stands to be either the first or second country in the entire Caribbean who would have ratified all the ILO fundamental conventions. Revision of the Labor Act and drafting of supporting regulations. Mr. Speaker, the Act serves as a foundation of our industrial relations framework. However, to remain relevant in the dynamic global economy, it must evolve to reflect modern realities. Funds have been allocated. The Prime Minister allocated $300,000 to review the Labor Act and to design the regulations that goes with the Act. And that will actually minimize the different interpretations that go to the Act. Lawyers interpret one way, the employers interpret another way, the unions interpret, the workers, everybody give their own interpretation. And with the regulation, I think we are going to resolve that matter. As Minister of Labor, I have engaged in a number of mediations, and I'm pleased to report in the House that so far I have had some successes. One, we had mediation between SLASPA and the National Workers Union over lighthouse workers at Monashik. That mediation was resolved and both parties accepted the ruling of the minister. We had mediation between First National Bank and the National Workers Union. That mediation too was accepted by both parties. Remember, you have 5 minutes left. You need a little more time? Okay. Huh? 5? You say I have 5? 5 minutes. Yeah. I need 10 minutes. Yeah, 10.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Standing Order 32.8 be suspended to allow the honourable member an extra 10 minutes to complete her presentation.
Member, I haven't put the question yet.
Oh, I haven't started either.
Honourable members, the question is that Standing Order 32.8 be suspended and 32.10 be invoked to allow the member an additional 10 minutes in which to complete a presentation. And now put the question, as many as that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Thank you, Member for Government Business. And thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me a few minutes to finish the people's business. Mr. Speaker, in the Department of Labor, we have the online platform for work permit application. We are in the process of putting that online, so it makes it easier for people to apply for work permit and for us to process the work permit. At this time, it's a lot of pressure. Jazz is coming, and every artist wants to come in to perform. And therefore, the pile is like we had to find another formula to process it so that we would not have hundreds of these on the desk. So this will be an improvement when we have it electronically. We want, in the work permit application, Mr. Speaker, when we see in the social and economic review that unemployment has gone down to single digit, it's a fact. It's a fact because I'm seeing the number of persons who are coming to St. Lucia seeking employment. And yet some people say they are unemployed. However, we may have some persons who are unemployed, but they may not have the skills that some of the employers are looking for. And we are trying to encourage St. Lucians to improve themselves. Do not say you did not get work. You must go out there and look for the work. And if you do not have the skills, there is nothing wrong like starting now. You need to be an electrician, you need to be a plumber, a tiler, a painter, a bricklayer, just name it. We want our people to live, the young people, we are encouraging them to leave the block, go and learn a skill and find employment, because St. Lucia has enough work for St. Lucians. We want you to go and work, because you need to pay your NIC for when you get older, so you can have some money there to take care of yourself. We want St. Lucians to go and work. Development of a national occupational safety and health policy. We are in the process of developing that policy, Mr. Speaker. We had a problem, we have had a problem, we are having a problem, and we continue to have a problem with mold, air quality, and government is spending millions of dollars in deep cleaning and air treatment and everything else on a daily basis. And we are losing hours and hours of work because workers have to go home for us to do deep cleaning and air quality and mold. That is affecting productivity, it's affecting economic growth, and therefore we have to do something. A letter was written by the CSA to the Prime Minister that they want to engage the public service so that we can discuss what can be done. Some people say it has to do with construction. We have to engage in construction workers on what they build, how the place ends up having mold and the air quality, what are the issues. We need to do the science behind that and to improve that. Establishment of a tripartite mechanism. For us to have industrial peace in the country, Mr. Speaker, the employers, government, and the employees or the representatives of employees, the unions, we must continue to sit around the table to have dialogue. Conflict will not solve our problem. So far, we have had some level of success, but what we are in the process of doing is to formalize it. Nous voulons, moun qui ka employé moun, nous voulons c'est même syndicat zénessayé, nous voulons gouvernement toi assis ensemble. C'est ça yo qui est tripartite. Et que là yo assis si là y a un problème yo ka discuter. La pas pour ni désagrément entre gouvernement, moun qui ka employé moun et travailleur. Nous ça assis et nous ça résolu pièce difficulté nous ni. So that is why we need the tripartite mechanism, so there is a regular dialogue. We do not allow it to reach a crisis when there is a strike and a seek out and so on. We can always engage in dialogue and resolve our problems. And plus, you have a Prime Minister who is willing to dialogue with his team. That Prime Minister, if you look at the budget, tout le monde met la main en tête. Moi, je dis nous pour check. sit at libo. Because if you have a government that is willing to engage, we expect the employers to sit, we expect the workers and the union to sit and let us solve the problem. There is no need to have quarrel and confusion. These initiatives are not just about reforming legislation and modernizing system, they are about empowering people. A stronger and more stable industrial environment will lead to higher job satisfaction, improved productivity, and increased investor confidence. Foreign investors seeking to establish business in our country will be assured by the presence of a clear, fair, and transparent regulatory framework that supports both employers and employees. For us to have economic growth in the country, we must have industrial peace. And that is why tripartite mechanism is very useful. By placing people at the heart of our labor policies, we are laying the foundation for sustainable economic growth, decent work opportunities, and social progress. This government remains unwavering in its commitment to bread, freedom, and justice, ensuring that workers' rights are upheld, businesses can thrive, and our economy remains competitive in an ever-changing global environment. The Prime Minister, in his budget, we call it the giveaway budget. Teachers are happy, wage earners are happy, employers are happy, pensioners, LIAT, majestic workers, police, nurses, minimum wage, STEP. They said STEP have the highest rate of pay. Everybody think people that work STEP are people that get low pay. When you do the average and you work out what that will be if they had to do that every day for a month, well, a STEP worker, their minimum wage would be $2,000 at $500 a week. So they are very, very well paid by the Prime Minister. So we have expansion of the caregivers program, Care for the Elderly. The Prime Minister has added weekends for persons who do not have anybody to care for them. This is just a giveaway budget. Everybody coming. Now, when I said I was coming to shop with a trolley, the people in Babono told me, get a backhoe. The trolley was too small. So when we saw the last one, I said they were correct. It's a backhoe I need, in truth. The Labor Tribunal and the Minimum Wage Commission have been given a new location to carry out their activities. It is located at Sanssouci, next to the Trophy Center. We encourage everyone to make maximum use of the services provided in ensuring that social and natural justice prevails. The Department of Gender, Mr. Speaker, the Division of Gender Affairs is responsible for mainstreaming gender in governmental laws, policies, and programs with the aim of promoting a gender-equal society. The Department of Gender Affairs has been developing a national gender equality policy and strategy.
Remember, you have 5 minutes left. Okay,
that is on its way, and we are going to ensure that we get this gender policy. We have a Prime Minister who is very gender conscious, and in his budget, he knows about period poverty. So he has put in money for period poverty, and I know he aligns himself with the youth, so he understands their challenges, and they are very happy for that. And that is in addition to the no VAT that he had on sanitary napkins and other hygienic products. So we welcome that, Mr. Prime Minister. The Department of Gender is very much grateful and aware of that. We have done a review of the Women's Support Center, which is completed, and the Crisis Center. We have to determine the status of these two entities and what role government will play in encouraging and helping these entities to function. On International Women's Day, we had a big celebration at Constitution Park for us to continue to celebrate women and women, and we were grateful that the new Taiwanese ambassador was in attendance. So we had a big celebration there for women. Mr. Speaker, with the 5 minutes I have left, I need to, it's now free. Now when we don't,
I think you need your own DG.
no. When you don't finish in the house, they say you can always go out of the house and complete. I know some people that leave the house and they go out of the house and go and do the rest of the presentation. Okay, it's okay, Mr. Speaker. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Prime Minister in his budget for highlighting some of what he has in his plan for Babono. The Babono people were listening, and there were some commitments that were made, and like the Prime Minister made promises kept. He keeps his promises, and we work on that. I am awaiting the presentation of the other ministers. Let me see what they are coming with for the constituency of Babono. We already have our $6 million house project in Talvan, so you have yours there already. The Prime Minister has spoken about the Asuba Road. That one is in. And we have the promise of the Babono Multipurpose Center. That is straight from the Prime Minister. And then we are looking forward to the lager playing field, so that people do not say they're going and tie their goats there to get fat. So we are going to repair the lager playing field. However, we have started quite a bit of work on a few fields. I want to thank the Minister of Youth and Sports for his support in helping us put the Babono playing field back in order. The Babono Secondary School will benefit from that. Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your time. I want to thank the Prime Minister for his support and my cabinet colleagues. I want to thank the constituents of Babono for their support, and let us continue to do what is best. I have said that you must never challenge the lioness that has reigned the terrain. And when it comes to Babono, I know every nook and corner in Babono. I have given everything I have to the people in Babono from my youth to now. And the Babono people understands that I'm genuine, I am sincere, and I am concerned about their welfare. And with that, the lioness will give no room for any little cub that wants to come and play on the field. We will reign and we will take care of the constituents. I look forward to the full support of my cabinet colleagues so that we can make Babono, we will upgrade Babono. I have written to the Minister of Infrastructure and Minister of Government and Housing and Local Government, and we are well on our way. I'm doing what I can, and Mr. Speaker will welcome you into the new Babono environment. Babono is, the wind of change starts in Babono, and if you want to know what's happening in the country, you have to feel the temperature of Babono. I want to thank my constituents and my staff who have been here this afternoon, and let us continue to make St. Lucia a better place. With this, Mr. Speaker, I want to give my full support to this wonderful, generous, and people-friendly budget delivered by the Prime Minister. We will settle for the rest of the time, Mr. Speaker, outside of this house. I thank you. No bill for Preville.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stands suspended until 5 p.m.
Honourable members, the question is that this House do stand suspended until 5 p.m. I now put the question. As many as of that opinion say aye. As many as of a contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Sitting suspended.
Welcome. We've just come to a suspension of the sitting of Parliament. It's an unusual time for suspension. At what time is it? We've suspended 4:25, and the House will resume again at 5 o'clock. When we resumed after lunch, there were a couple of contributions from members of Parliament, Emma Hippolyte and Virginia Albert, each giving a report of their achievements, for the past year and plans for the coming fiscal year. I just want to briefly mention Miss Honorable Virginia Albert's contribution. Just briefly mention just one of her areas of focus. She did speak a lot on the digitization of the public service. She says that her government is placing a lot of emphasis on this, and she spoke on the expansion of the GINet program, also intending for coverage of public areas. She mentioned that 47 areas have been identified for public free Wi-Fi access. But I want to say all of these contributions, Michael, is coming after the Prime Minister's unbelievable wowish budget. We have wowish budget, and we haven't had a time to really just reflect on this. But in speaking on Mrs. Poyot, Virginia Poyot Albert Poyot's contribution, she did describe the budget as friendly, sort of wowish, unbelievable, and it was a lot. And she said there was a lot in it for everybody.
Yes, something
for everybody. And I know you're going to speak on Miss Honorable Hippolyte's contribution, and Honorable Hippolyte herself mentioned the different sectors that would be benefiting from the Prime Minister's budget.
Yes. So, English. Honorable Emma Hippolyte a parlé après déjeuner, après-midi, avec différents en présentation et des contributions. Il parlait en chai à ce département avec manière où je travaille. Le département de travail pour faire bagaille primaire en chaque différents bureaux et un département. Il parlait à ça, c'est commerce, il parlait à ces affaires et aussi parlait à ces affaires tarifs là avec il dit comme que le gouvernement, le Premier ministre a déjà établi, ça a créé un task force, et bien un comité qui a joué pour déterminer qui manière pour ça pour abattre la situation tarifaire qui est imposée par le gouvernement de l'Amérique. Ce comité a joué et dans ce cas-là, il dit que le comité a fait à présent, c'est pour garder qui manière cette liste, ça a commencé à dépendre plus à ce ça nous a mangé, c'est planter ça nous a dit c'est planter ça nous a mangé, et manger ça nous a planté, avec aussi pour faire plus bagaille pour voir bagaille l'autre pays, pas dépendre seulement à ce l'autre pays, mais aussi pour dépendre pour voir commencer voir produits simplicité, vendre produits simplicité en région, parce pour dépendre à l'autre pays. On va vraiment parler à chaque assaut. Ça, c'est plus gros succès département. Ça c'est projet, programme département. Ça c'est MSN, ça c'est des affaires assistance gouvernement qui a pour le monde qui a fait business, petit business avec moyen business. Avec le gouvernement, j'ai dépensé presque 7 millions de dollars pour assister le monde en département. Avec eux bien satisfait avec le progrès qu'il a fait. Il a aussi parlé en charge aussi à ce développement coopératif avec l'autre bagaille comme ça. Ça nous a dit, l'année plus un témoin d'eau, on est peut parler si tellement à ce département, mais nous avons utiliser plus de détails à ce ça Ada un lot pour peut-être demain et bien nous qu'a fini après-midi.
Okay, so join us back here at 5 when the House reconvenes, and during that time we will go through some of the Prime Minister's provisions in his presentation of the budget on Tuesday.
Archbishop of Castries, His Grace Gabriel Malzer, clergy, religious, and the entire Catholic community in St. Lucia and the world over on the passing of the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, who passed away on